MZTV.
There is nothing so good in this world that is better than knowing God. Nothing. Knowing God, knowing God's plan for the eons is superior to any good thing that the human mind can conceive of. And the man who was given this experiment was Solomon. God gave Solomon a very important job. And if people would just read Ecclesiastes, they would understand that this constant pursuit of what they think is good, this constant pursuit of happiness, will not lead to happiness. It's so strange. It's such a phenomenon, and no one can believe it. For instance, people think that their lives will be so much better if they could just win the lottery, if they could just have a bunch of money, then every problem would be solved. And they come to find out that getting a bunch of money actually creates more problems. But it's almost like no one can believe the lesson. The ability to believe the lesson of Ecclesiastes is a rare thing indeed. It is a gift of God to be able to recognize, to spare yourself the trial of trying to find happiness apart from God. As we've all heard, there's an emptiness inside of everyone. We're all born with an emptiness. It's a God created vacancy that can only be filled by God. And when you pursue all other things and you try all other things to fulfill it, it can only lead to disappointment. And again, if only the lesson of Solomon and the words of Solomon in Ecclesiastes could be believed, I believe them. And this has spared me, and I trust it has spared you a lot of pain and hardship. This is Martin Zender, and I'm broadcasting to you from Lima, Peru. And I'm sorry for the sound quality. I'm doing the best I can. I'll be at a different place tomorrow. Right now, I'm at my mother-in-law's place, and my brother-in-law is here, and my wife and her girlfriend are in another room. And it is so great to be with these family members. So right out this window is Peru. I mean, if you've never seen Peru, here it is. Look at that. Look, that's Peru out there. You see those cars? Those are Peruvian cars. You see that light? It's a Peruvian light. I know it's an exotic country. It really is. I mean, I remember studying geography when I was in school, and you saw this giant chunk of real estate beneath the United States, and they called it South America. And it was this exotic place. You didn't know for sure if it was actually there. You just trusted the maps that it was there. And when I first saw South America, it was like a shock for an American. We're Americocentric. We always think that we're the center of the universe. And you come to find out there's other people in the world with whole different experiences. And then as we look into the scriptures, we realize that God sent Christ not only to redeem the human race, but to redeem the entire universe. And I think that when we see the extent of the universe, it'll be somewhat akin to the experience I felt when I saw South America from an airplane for the first time. I looked down and I said, wow, look at that continent. That's a different continent. And these people have grown up on this continent, and many of them don't know anything else. And I grew up in the United States and I didn't know anything else. It's a different world. And the world we're going to enter into, the celestial world, is a completely different world, and our horizons are going to be expanded, needless to say. So, listen, I'll be in a different place tomorrow. I'll be seeing the doctor. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm going to find out, but for sure the surgery is on Wednesday. But for now, I'm just getting my bearings back in Peru. I'm in this brick room, so again, the acoustics are bad, but I I want to finish Solomon. At least I want to finish chapter 2. The book of Ecclesiastes is so interesting because God did this as a favor for humanity. He separated Solomon as a favor to humanity. It's like God saying to us, let me spare you a whole lot of pain by giving a man an experience of good. And this man is going to get every experience of good, everything that the human eye could want. Oh, and somebody said in the comments, this was so interesting. Solomon said, if you remember in chapter 1, I don't remember which verse it was, but the eye is never satiated with seeing, and the ear is never satiated with hearing. And someone said, and I completely understand this comment, that, well, if Solomon had lived in our day, there's so much more to see, so much more to hear. There's so much more nowadays in our modern era to stimulate the senses that Solomon would not exhaust, like he would not be exhausted. He would not be so down on the frivolity and the raving of humanity and the lust of the eyes and the lust of the ears. He wouldn't be so down on it if he had just lived today. Well, if he lived today, he would be, he would have a different opinion because of all the marvels we have, all the technology we have, all the treats we have for the eyes and the treats for the ears. And no offense to the person who wrote this comment, but I was immediately appalled and I knew it was wrong because we think we invented everything, right? Like every generation thinks they invented sex. And we think we invented entertainment. And I think that if we compared our electronic marvels to the analog joys of Solomon, I think Solomon had way more delights in his day than we can even imagine. We think that our electronic marvels are so great, so wonderful. But I say to you that Solomon had more than we can even dream. Even so, a commenter commented on that comment and said, no, that's not true. I have partaken of every marvel, every AI, every video marvel, every sound marvel. Sound is continuously being perfected. We went from cassette tapes to uh, 8 tracks to CDs and now to electronic music. And now people are going back to analog. People are going back to vinyl because the older sound is better. Well, there's nothing to compare with the live music that Solomon heard. This guy got it all. And he realizes that there's no satisfaction and no satiation apart from God and apart from Christ. I finished chapter 1 on Friday. I want to start with chapter 2. Solomon speaking. Chapter 2 of Ecclesiastes. I said in my heart, do come then, let me probe you with rejoicing. Now look at what is good, but behold, even this was vanity. Vanity, again, is emptiness. Mirth, I said, is a raving, and rejoicing, what then is it achieving? Because all these things are so transient, and Solomon mentioned that word in chapter 1. All these things are so temporary. What we are looking for and yearning for and pining for is aeonian. It is enduring. Aeonian means that word itself has to do with something that endures through time. Aeonian and eon is a time word, but it has to do with enduring. It has to do with lasting. Every pleasure of this world is fleeting. It all goes away so quickly. You drink your coffee, feels good for a while, then it goes away. You take aspirin to dull the pain, it goes away. You smoke a cigarette, makes you feel great for a while, makes you feel like you got a handle on the universe, it goes away. Sex, the orgasm, terrific moment. You see the secrets of the universe. 5 seconds later, gone. Transient, transient, transient. Nothing sticks. And we're looking for a thrill, a quick thrill. Christ is not a quick thrill. He's not. Christ is an enduring thrill. And the more spiritually attuned we become, we realize that these spiritual truths have us on a slow burn. They have us on there's a fire lit inside of us, and it's the Spirit of God. But it is such a slow burn, and it takes such a long time for us to realize how sustaining it is. Kind of the difference between like protein and sugars, fats and meat sustain you. They're not as fun. It's not as fun to eat olive oil or even a chicken as it is to eat cotton candy or a Snickers bar or even a handful of raw sugar. The sugar high, the sugar fix is so exciting and you want the quick taste. And isn't it interesting? God put these different taste areas on our tongues to give us different experiences. And I think that each of these places on our tongue, that part that detects the sour thing, the bitter thing, and the sweet thing, this is all spiritually instructive. The sour thing, we don't like it. The bitter thing, we don't like it. The sweet thing, oh, that's good. But if you put the sour and the bitter together, it creates something of substance. What else? The salt. Salt is something you add to food. You don't want to eat salt by itself, but when you add it to food, it gives it a basis. It gives it a foundation. Gives it body. And we're looking for body. But we think that the quick fix, we think that sugar is going to give us body, it's going to give us lasting satisfaction, but it doesn't. It goes so fast. The body wants sugar, craves sugar, but it uses, I know this because I'm a runner. And when you run, the best food for a runner in the moment is sugar. The body loves sugar. It takes it right away. It prefers it. And you give it sugar. But the thing that sustains it the most, the thing that it can draw from the longest is fat. And this is really illustrative of spirit versus the soul. The soul craves the quick fix. Look, I'm no different than you. I crave it. I crave the quick fix. I like my alcohol. I like my coffee. I used to like my cigarettes. I like my kratom. But Christ is the substance, is the spirit, is the thing that stays when everything else disappears. And Solomon is discovering by his experiments with pleasure, with sugar, with sex, with the titillation of the eyes and the stimulation of the ears. He is learning that none of these things satisfy. Money does not satisfy. I explored within my heart, verse 3, by stimulating my flesh with wine. How about alcohol? That sounds good. While my heart was leading with wisdom, he still had his wisdom. And by getting hold on frivolity, he used the wine to try to get hold of frivolity. He's looking for this fun time that he hopes will dull the pain of life until I should see just where good may be for the sons of humanity and what they do under the heavens during the number of days in their lives. I made great things as my works. Verse 4 now of Ecclesiastes chapter 2. I built houses for myself. I planted vineyards for myself. I made gardens and parks for myself, and I planted in them trees of every fruit. I made reservoirs of water for myself. Do you notice what he keeps saying? For myself. I did this for myself, for myself. I made reservoirs of water for myself to irrigate from them the sprouting grove of trees. I acquired men servants and maidservants, people that waited on him night and day. And any sons born in the household became mine. Moreover, abundant cattle, herds, and flocks became mine. We forget in this day how valuable cattle, well, unless you live in Texas, unless you have a ranch in Texas or something, or if you live in Ireland and raise sheep, we forget how important livestock was to people of this era who were basically farmers. Moreover, abundant cattle, herds, and flocks became mine more than all who were over Jerusalem before me. I collected also, well, if you don't like the cows, and if you don't like the sheep, how about this? How about this? I collected also silver and gold for myself, the valuable treasures of kings and provinces. I provided male singers and female singers for myself. And Whitney Houston could not hold a candle to these singers we're talking about here. Not even Shakira. Not even Shakira could hold a candle to the singers that Solomon gathered around himself. I provided male singers and female singers for myself, and with the rich delights of the sons of humanity, a wine waiter and wine waitresses. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to see Solomon's wine waitresses. Just love to see them. I picture them in these tight purple dresses. I don't know why. Or else purple, they have to be dressed in purple. These flimsy garments. Just the wine waitresses. Something about that phrase stimulates the senses. And yet, it's a sugar high that does not last. As I grew greater and added more than anyone who was over Jerusalem before me, indeed, my wisdom had stayed with me. So all the while, he's able to have a subjective opinion of what he's doing. He knows, he has this, the strange thing is, he is conscious that he's experimenting with these things. Most people today, they think that these things are going to solve their problems. Solomon has this wisdom that is above the frivolity, that is actually detachedly and objectively considering what is happening underneath the surface, looking at the frivolity, the pleasure, the sugar high, and being able to distinguish, being able to judge it, whether it is providing him anything good, anything lasting. And the result is, the answer is decidedly no, it's not. And don't think for a second that we of the 21st century, is that what this, are we still in the 21st century? Don't think that we have anything on Solomon. Forget it. That is a big mistake. Big mistake. All that my eyes asked for, I did not deny them. I did not withhold my heart from any rejoicing. For my heart had rejoicing from all my toil. And this itself was my portion from all my toil. I submit to you that the toil in acquiring these things was much better than the things. This comes down to work. This comes down to purpose. God has a purpose. It's the purpose of the eons, and He is working toward it. And I've always believed this, that it's the journey, not the arrival, that matters. So it's the toil. For my heart had rejoicing. My heart had rejoicing from all the toil. But when he's done with his toil, he looks at what he toiled for and he says it's empty. Folks, this is a great truth. I'm going to end with it. It's the toil. And the toil that I had toiled in doing them. I believe it was the toil that was more valuable than the product of the toil. When you're working towards something, it's always engaging. And when you get to where you're going, though, you look around and you say, is this it? This is what I thought would make me happy. That's the problem, is when you think the toil itself is worth nothing, only as a means of getting you to some place where you think, once I arrive there, I'm going to be happy. And then when you arrive there, you look around and you go, well, This is it. Why aren't I happy here? Because it's the toil that is the gift. It's the work that's an actual reward in itself. And we always need something to strive for. And anything on earth that we gain via our toil, yes, there's sweet fruit from it, but then you look around and you realize you have to work for something else then. You never arrive. God has built it in the human race so we never arrive at a place of nirvana. We never arrive at a place of satisfaction where, oh, now we can rest, now we can take our ease. This is why the whole retirement mentality is such a big mistake. People who work all their lives so that they can stop working and do nothing. They end up being empty. They end up hating their lives. They end up thinking, why did I quit my job? Why? Because life is not laying around. Life is not sitting down. Life is not going to some exotic place and putting your hands behind your head and soaking up the sun. Ugh, no. Spit it from your mouth. Life is toil. That is the reward. Working towards something. God is working toward a great result. I dare say, well, I'm not taking a big risk in saying this, that God's goal of all in all will not disappoint. And I firmly believe that the work God is putting in and the work we are being put through uh, that leads to the all in all is just the beginning. Even at the consummation of the eons, it has to be the start of something else because we're not just all going to sit around and get fat and rest on our laurels and enjoy where we've arrived. Yes, we are going to enjoy where we arrived, and God's terminus is much more satisfying than any place we could arrive at on this earth and in these bodies. But it's going to be, even the consummation is going to be the beginning of something better and greater because God is always working. But it's the work. When we're transformed completely and we're made completely spiritual, we will realize the value of working toward the same thing that God is working toward.